Josh Hasten here, Israel Uncensored on the Land of Israel Network at thelandofisrael.com. It is Monday, July 13th, 2020, the 21st of Tammuz, 5780. Hope you're doing well in your part of the world. I'm coming to you now from a beautiful day here in Jerusalem, the capital of the Jewish people and the state of Israel. We have a lot of news to discuss in the second half of the show. We're going to be talking, of course, about the coronavirus and all the latest information coming out of the government. But first, we are going to go to the Zoom, where we have a very special guest on the program. Her name is Ashager Araro. She is the founder of Battae, the Ethiopian Israeli Heritage Center, located in Tel Aviv. That word, if I pronounced it correctly, I hope I did, means my house in Amaharic. How did I do so far, Ashager? Did I say it correctly?
So you said correctly my name.
Okay.
The center is Battae.
Battae.
So you got one from
one
two.
out of
so
two.
Good.
So we're halfway there. We're on an okay start. Battae, if you can, tell us. We'll start with that. Tell us a little bit about the Ethiopian Israeli Heritage Center, located in Tel Aviv, correct?
The second capital of Israel and the youngest capital of Israel, Tel Aviv. We opened Battae, the Ethiopian Israeli Heritage Center, an interactive center that is dedicated to tell the story of Ethiopian Jews. Not a lot of people know about the fact that there is Ethiopian Jews and the heritage and what they come from, and we tell it in a very interactive way. You come, you eat Ethiopian food, listen to the music, we have a dance session, you have a lecture. There's teaching people about our culture from a very positive space where you're able to interact and creating one-to-one connection, because we truly believe that by creating connection, we're able to solve a lot of issues and problems that we have in our society.
I want to hear more about the center, but first, your own personal story. I did a little bit of homework on you. From what I understand, you were actually born in the desert. Your mom was 9 months pregnant when your family on foot came from Ethiopia to Israel, and you yourself were born on the way on there, which it's unimaginable, the travels and all the hardships that they were encountering, literally walking towards a new life here in the state of Israel. You were born during that period, correct?
Yeah, so actually my name, Ashager, it's in Amaharic, of course, and its direct translation is going forward from something bad to something good, like a pathway. And even today, if you ask my father, he would say, she's my lucky charm. She brought me here. That's what he believes. We are very religious people in our household. And when they started the journey, I came in Operation Solomon in 91, and they need to walk like for several days from Gondar, where we live, to Addis Ababa, the capital city of Ethiopia. And they walked in the middle of the night because they were afraid of the government find out they're trying to escape. And my mom was 9 months pregnant. Imagine that, being 9 months pregnant, walking by foot to the unknown. Because what a lot of people don't understand when people talk about courage and bravery, what Zionism actually is, I go to this story, that there is no greater love and belief from people who walk literally in the desert to the unknown just because someone tells them they're going to go back to their homeland. They're going to go back to the place they are praying 3 times a day. They are going back to Jerusalem. Just this notion that this might happen made them leave everything behind and walk in the desert, having her own kid, baby girl, in the middle of the desert, and then go right back up and continue the journey. I think that is something that not a lot of people would do.
That's an unbelievable story. I was thinking about Abraham when I was listening to the story, who picked up and left everything behind and came to Israel from where he was. But I don't know, your mom, Abraham didn't have a baby in the desert on the way. Your mom did. That's pretty unbelievable. So you grew up here in Israel, and from what I know, you have not only been a citizen and resident of the state of Israel, but you've been very, very active in representing Israel in the field of public diplomacy, getting the truth out about Israel. if you can, talk about your experience in setting the record straight when it comes to Israel, hosting groups, and all the other amazing things that you've done. I know you're working with the Stand With Us organization. Tell us a little bit about being on the front lines in the, I don't like using the word hasbara, as my audience knows, but I call it more public diplomacy. Tell us a little bit about that.
I think like a lot of my background and where I come from put me in that path. Like, I'm a proud Zionist. I'm proud Zionist because I understand I'm the first generation Ethiopian Jew who in my family that is able to live free as Jewish. I understand that, and I don't take it for granted. I don't like dismiss that. I understand this is a very big thing, and we cannot take it for granted, and we have to fight for it. And for me, hearing people talk about my country in a certain way, it just upset me. And I always go across like wherever I need to do in order to talk about the issues. I don't used to like the word arguing about stuff because in the end of the day, I truly believe that if someone comes in a neutral perspective and just hear both sides of the conflict, in the end of the day, you cannot, like the worst that you could be is be like, okay, there's like a lot of going on here. You can be like a brilliant, you can be like, okay, there's a lot of going on, but you cannot be ignored to the fact like that there is something bigger from the soundbite that you're hearing and from the like the stories that you've been told. And I believe in one-to-one connection, and that's what I've been doing, like talking to different audience groups of Jews and non-Jews from all over the world, from South Africa, the United States to Europe, going and telling my own personal story. Because just being an Ethiopian Jew who is a Zionist and a feminist and so many other things, for them it's just like unimaginable. Just my presence breaks so many barriers they were taught about Israel that is not true.
I mean, you only have to turn to Twitter for a few minutes when you see some of the rhetoric coming out of those who are uneducated and have this assumption of what a Jew is supposed to look like and what a Jew looks like or whatnot. And you're certainly breaking those stereotypes, which I think is so important and so appreciated by people like myself. So I want to thank you for that. And let's focus on the center. I'm going to try to pronounce it correctly this time. Battae, correct? In Tel Aviv. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And I understand. I know that there's a campaign going on right now as a result. I mean, so many people are struggling now with the COVID-19, the coronavirus here in Israel and around the world. But I know people are struggling, and you're doing your best to keep this center up and alive and functioning and really serving its purpose to teach the story of Ethiopian Israelis and sharing your heritage. Talk a little bit about the campaign going on now and how people can really get involved and make a difference so that you can continue the legacy of your parents and all those who made this crazy sacrifice and coming over here to Israel by foot, many of them.
Yeah. So I would say my grandfather came to Israel in 1925. 1925. Wow. He was one of the first Ethiopian Jews to come here. He came to Jerusalem. He studied in Tahmani school for a couple of years, and then he went to Europe to study more, and then continued to Addis Ababa, where he, together with the community, built the first Jewish school in Addis Ababa, and create a safe space for Jews to continue to be free as Jews. And he did that, and while doing that, everyone told him he is not capable to do it. It's not going to work. He's not going to go back. It's not going to. Like, he had so many people telling them, but he believed in education. He believed that through education we are able to break down barriers. We are able to put ourselves in a better position. And he worked very hard for what he believed in, and he sacrificed a lot. And what we do today, and 3 generations after that, imagine that his grandchild is in Israel, living in a Jewish state, a free state, and saying, I want to continue his work. He taught Ethiopian Jews the meaning of Judaism. And what I want to tell Israelis and non-Israelis and people from all over the world is the story of my community, the story of his life. And this is the essence of what we do here. A lot of people, I call it a positive protest. Like there's protest that goes out to the street and holding a sign and like tell what they want. There are protests who go to position in government or business and want to change the system from the inside. And there is protest of education. And this is our positive process from education, because we truly believe that once people know, a lot comes from ignorance. A lot comes from ignorance. And when people actually knows what is going on, they are less inclined to hate, they're less inclined to assume stuff. And that's what we have been doing in the center from December 2019. And we had this 3 amazing months when we had people from all over the world coming and learning, and we had this phenomenal feedback from everyone coming. And unfortunately, like a lot of other businesses, coronavirus really shut us down for 3 months. And right now we're in danger. And we're in danger that we might have to close up, because it's a family-owned business. It's self-funded. We put everything on the line. I quit my job. I put everything on the line because I believe in this dream. I believe in this importance of this dream. And now it's on that. And so we opened a campaign, because I'm not willing to give up, of course, I'm a fighter. So we opened a campaign, and Israel Gives. You can go to my Facebook page, you can go to my Twitter, follow me on Twitter, and you can give as much as you can. Every contribution matters a lot. We want to continue this place open.
So I want to encourage all the listeners out there, go to either the Facebook page, the Twitter page, Ashager Araro, and if you have any trouble getting in touch with her, you can get in touch with me, of course, and I will put you in touch with her. Education, and that's really what it's all about, continuing the legacy. What an amazing story that you have from your great-great-grandfather and your parents, and you doing the amazing things you're doing on behalf of the Jewish people here in Israel, sharing the Zionist story from your family's perspective. So I want to thank you for coming on today. Thank you for sharing. And let's do what we can to keep the center going and flourishing. And please, God, next time I come to Tel Aviv, I'm going to knock on the door. I want to check it out. I want to check it out. And hopefully by then we'll be done with this Corona stuff. We'll bring groups there, and we'll really keep it a flourishing and thriving Zionist center here in Israel, B'ezrat Hashem. So thank you for your time, and all the best. Stay safe, stay healthy.